Alright guys, would you like to make some beautiful homemade beef jerky like this on your Pitboss Lexington? Coming up next. Scotty's backyard barbecue. That's the best beef jerky you're ever gonna make, folks. Alright guys, welcome back. I got some of the best jerky, simple recipe you're ever going to see, ever going to use. This really wasn't going to be a how to make a jerky recipe. I wanted to see if this Pitboss Lexington could go low enough to smoke jerky. You know, you want it down to between 150 170 ishes. So we're going to be using P setting 7 on that, but you'll see that tomorrow. But today, let's get down there and let's make this simple, delicious beef jerky. It's so simple. You do this on anything. It doesn't have to be a smoker. You do it in your oven, dehydrator. It's a very simple recipe. I'll bring you down and I'll show you what I got. Let's get on with this simple jerky recipe. I've been using this simple recipe for about 25 years. It was always good. It's very simple. No complicated ingredients. You have most of all these right in your cupboard, folks. Alright, we're going to do a 1/3 cup of liquid aminos, or you can use soy sauce. I always like this stuff. Well, back in the day when I was making jerky by 100-pound batches, I'd get these in gallon jugs. Be about 1/3 cup. Alright, I got my recipe down here on my phone. I've been hauling that recipe around my life for a long time. We got the W sauce. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of the W sauce. Make sure I got the W. Where is that? Now this is an optional thing. I got some pink salt for curing. You don't have to use that. I like using it because my jerky, I got about 2.5 pounds of meat. So I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon. My jerky is always being frozen and thawed, and this will kill any bacteria that you'll have in there. You know, keep bacteria at bay, I should say. Now that's totally optional. You don't have to use it. Just keep your jerky frozen. Alright, we're going to stir this up. Alright, hang on a minute while I get this mess cleaned up, and we'll get on to that meat. Alright guys, ooh, the sun's terrible today. We got just about 1.5 pounds here and 1.5 pounds here. We're going to take that out. I got one of these at Aldi's and one of these at Walmart. Before you go out and buy a, you know, London broil or a round of eye or whatever you want to use for jerky, try this pre-sliced stuff first. Remember, this is just a test run on that I'm doing on my Lexington. See if it'll get down. Alright. Down to smoking. Let me shut the door so I don't get bombarded with flies. Last time I did a video, I had a dead fly in my window and some guy was going ape nuts. I said, yeah, I don't watch Chubb's Barbecue. That guy gets killed with the flies. Anyway, I got his little tenderizer. We're just gonna give it a quick chop. Alright. Uh-oh, there is a fly, but he's outside, I think. That'll help the marinade get into the meat. Now, we got let me get rid of the paper towels here. Get pains off of you. Okay. Now what I like to do is put that meat in here. Put 1 strand of meat in there. This way everything gets coated. And then we're gonna put it in the bag. Now I ain't gonna bore you with this whole processing of how to do this. Alright, we'll get this all in the bag and I'll be right back. Alright guys, we got it all in the bag. I have to tell you, next time I should pre-measure everything else first. wouldn't be so messy. Anyways, I forgot I downsized this recipe. Hang on, bring you up. Hey, I downsized this recipe for 2 pounds of meat. And then I was in the store the other day at Aldi's and they had another package of sliced meat, so I bought it and I forgot. So I had to double it. So this recipe that I'm going to be posting down below is for almost 2 pounds of meat. If you're going to do more than 2 pounds, then you double it, alright? I got almost 4 pounds, so I doubled it. We got it in the bag. You don't have to use this. I'm going to be using this tomorrow, but not today. But now, Scotty has got him a refrigerator. Yeah! So we're just going to take this bag, put it in this refrigerator overnight. Like this. And I'll see you guys in the morning. Alright, good morning everybody. It's the next day now. Got the jerky out of the refrigerator. Now you don't have to use one of these. You just leave this in there a little longer. This is what? Hadn't even been 24 hours. It's only been about 16 hours. One thing about making jerky, folks, is it makes your house or your barbecue shack smell really good. Alright. The whole purpose of this video is to see if the Lexington can go low enough to make jerky. This really wasn't a how to make jerky video, but we can turn it into that though, folks. That smells amazing, folks. Alright, leave a comment down below if you ever made homemade jerky in a Pitboss Lexington. I don't know if this thing's gonna work. It's been in storage for a couple years, so I'm gonna put that. We gotta put this on the vacuum. I don't even know where I got this, folks. Probably got it at a yard sale or something. So you probably look online, find one on Amazon. See if I remember how to use this. Power. Function. There we go. Oh, we're done. We'll turn this to the lock. Remove the hose. Put the hose back. I got a lot of jerky to make coming up, folks. I want to make sure all my pits will work for jerky. And I would just turn that on. We're going to go, you set the timer. We're going to go 45 minutes, folks. Alright, in the meantime, let's go outside. This whole deal of this video is the Lexington. Let's go outside and see how that's doing. Alright guys, we're out here in the backyard in the early morning hours. See that little sign there? This is going to be my new filming location. You know, usually for next summer. I'm going to put some lights out there in the corners. I'll get that banner a little more centered. I'm going to build a little deck down here at the bottom to put my pits on. And I'll have some LED lights hanging underneath. It's going to be sweet, folks. I'll do a few winter cooks out here until it gets too cold. Scotty ain't going to be out here at 30 below like he was last year. Alright, let's go down and see what this Lexington's up to. We got it on the smoke setting, P setting 7. Alright, if you don't know what the P setting things are, I'll leave a link at the end of this video. And you'll learn all about the P setting. Alright, hang on. Alright guys, the whole idea is you want your smoker. Why is that up? Hey, why are you up in here? Oh, got a pelt stuff. You don't want no rain getting in there, folks. Yeah, the whole idea, you want your smoker down to anything under 180. I'm hoping for like 150, 165. You want to maintain under 180. And P7, that all depends on your outdoor temperature too. Alright, so you might want to play that. The higher the number, the P setting, the slower your auger will move. That will keep your temperature down. The lower the number, the faster the auger turns on. It only works on the smoke setting, folks. Alright, we're looking pretty good. We're going to let that run for a while. And then we'll wait for that jerky to get done tumbling and I'll show you the rest. Hey, leave a comment down below what you use to smoke your jerky on. Usually I use my Bradley. You don't want to use the hockey puck. Alright, we'll be back, folks. Alright guys, we are done tumbling. We got our paper towel set up. I like my little shack, folks. A lot better than the old shack. The old shack was open to the elements. This one's gonna be enclosed. Especially when winter time comes, I'll put a little heater in here. Anyways, let's release the vacuum. I wanted to see if the Lexington can make jerky. Alright. What you want to do is kind of dry the outside off the best you can. The wetter the outside is, the longer it'll take to do. You can skip this part if you want. I won't bore you with laying it all out. I'll get it all laid out, I'll get it all dried off, and I'll see you outside at the Pitboss Lexington, folks. Alright guys, we're out here at the Pitboss Lexington. It's holding beautiful temperature on P7. Now what I did yesterday, I came out and I cranked this up to 500, let it run for an hour to kill any bugs that might be on here. Now I never used this for jerky before. It's sure doing some good smoking though. I got Better Mountain pellets. Hickory. You're wondering what kind of pellets I'm using? Remember, I got two different types of meat here. One from Aldi's, one from Walmart. It's okay if they touch a little bit. They should shrink up a little. Try not to get them really flat. Kind of cool. Have a Pitboss Lexington that'll do anything. I will shut the lid. Hang on while I wash my hands. Alright, hands are all washed. Let me bring you up. Comment down below what your favorite jerky recipe is. I'll leave that one down below. I'll kind of scroll it off to the side. I got the outside thing going on. The old Pitboss Lexington is running down to about 170 degrees on P7, folks. Alright, we'll see you back here in about a couple hours. Alright, folks, be right back. Alright guys, it's been about 2 hours. We're holding steady at about 160, 165, which is perfect. Remember, the purpose here is to dry it out before you cook it. Like I say, in the future here, I got a lot of jerky to make with deer season coming. Ice fishing, deer season. That's why I add that little bit of that pink salt, that cure. You don't have to use that, but it helps kill any bacteria that might be in there. Because when you're out ice fishing, this jerky will freeze when it's in your pocket. And when you go into a bar, it'll thaw out. So you just want to be safe, folks. That's optional. We're getting pretty close to being done here. Pull that out. Look at that, folks. Your Lexington doing a good job. Let's rotate these around. I think this one's getting close to being done. Look at that. It's still a little wet in the thicker pieces though, folks. You can't rush jerky. You want them all to be the same. Alright, we'll be back. Lexington is performing awesomely. Woo, look at all that smoke, folks. Let's see what they're looking like, folks. They are so close to being done. Like it's still not quite. Still some moisture in there. I like my jerky more dried than wet. You know what I mean? Now you try to remove the moisture before you cook it. These thicker pieces here, you don't want to pull that off yet. It's still got a little moisture in there. Remember, this is going in my jacket pocket, not in my freezer. Alright, we'll be back. Alright guys, let's check it out. Been a total of 6 hours at 165. Yeah, see, we're getting there. We are getting there. The top is better than the bottom. Other than all, we're doing pretty good. I'm gonna start pulling some of these littler pieces off that are done. Alright, we'll be right back, folks, with the finished product. Alright guys, start kind of pulling these off. The top seems to be smoking better than the, drying out better than the bottom. Overall, the Lexington did a pretty decent job. I won't overcrowd it next time. This piece is kind of thick. Got that seen there? I folded that over. I didn't catch that. See, it's still a little moisture there. If you keep it moist like that, you got a chance of running a risk of being rancid. Of course, this ain't going to last long anyway, so we're going to eat this up pretty fast. But I'm just giving you little tips, tricks. If you want to make jerky at home, remember, don't rush it. It could take anywhere up to 4, 5, 6, up to 8, 10 hours. Depending on how thick it is, how much moisture is still in it. Alright, folks. We'll see you inside the shack. Alright. Is it perfect? No, it ain't perfect. This is my first time on Lexington doing jerky. You never do everything perfect the first time, folks. But is it delicious? Let's find out. That recipe is just a standard go-to recipe. It ain't nothing fancy. Go ahead and make your recipe, make it your own, add a little more of this, a little less of that. Alright, leave out all the pepper flakes, you don't like it hot. Add more stuff if you like it hot. It's your recipe. It's just a basic beef jerky recipe that never fails. Alright? But we gotta try it. That's the best beef jerky you're ever gonna make, folks. If the Pitboss Lexington smoked jerky. That was the main idea of this video. It wasn't really a how to make jerky, but I guess it turned into how to make jerky on the Pitboss Lexington. Alright folks, thanks for watching. Peace out.